Hello and welcome back. We are doing 9-3, and in 9-3 we are talking about similar right triangles. So if you have not written down these formulas right here, you're going to pause this video and get these written down, because these are the proportions or ratios or formulas that we are going to be using here in lesson 9-3. So what they say is every time you have a right triangle, and we also have this altitude coming down to be perpendicular, all three of these triangles, the red triangle, the big black one, and the blue one, are all similar. So the first one that we have here where it says x squared equals, so x squared equals, and now let's see how it divides the hypotenuse in a part A and a part B. So x squared equals A times B. Now, the other two are kind of lumped together because they're doing the same thing. So whether you're looking at the red triangle and the big black one, or the blue triangle and the big black one, both of them are taking y squared, which is the leg squared, equals. Now, it's dividing the hypotenuse into part of the hypotenuse and the whole hypotenuse. Okay, and if you look at the other one for the blue one, we also have leg squared, because z squared is the leg, so it's still leg squared, and it's part of the hypotenuse. This b is part of the hypotenuse, and then the b plus a is the whole hypotenuse. All right, let's put these theorems into practice here and see if you can solve to find out what x, y, and z are. So you should stop this video right now, copy this video or this diagram into your notes, and then try and set up and see what you can solve for x, y, and z. And then come back to the video and I will solve these for you. But you should first give these a try. All right, so it just so happens that the first one I always look for, just because I don't know, is I always look for this one that has the y squared, the altitude, and this part and the whole. Okay, so that's what I'm going to set up first. So when I do that, I'm going to take y squared equals the part 4 times the other part x. Well, as it turns out, I can't solve that because it has two variables in it. So then I go to my next one, and for whatever reason, I typically start at the one on the left. So I'm going to use the leg squared equals the part of the hypotenuse times the whole hypotenuse. Okay, so leg squared is going to be 12 squared. And then the part of the hypotenuse is 4, and the whole hypotenuse, be careful here, it is not 4x, it is 4 plus x. All right, and as it looks like here, I only have one variable, I only have an x, so I can actually solve this. So I get 144 equals, and I'm going to distribute, so I get 16 plus 4x. Now I'm going to subtract 16 from both sides. So I get 128 equals 4x. Now we're going to divide both sides by 4. So I get x to be 32. And now that I know x is 32, I can go plug that x value in here. So I can take y squared equals 4 times 32, and 4 times 32 is going to get me to y squared equals 128. So now I'm going to take the square root of both sides. So y is going to equal to, and I think I can take the square root of 4 times the square root of 2. So the square root of 64 is 8. So I get y is 8 root 2. So now I have x is 32, and I have y is 8 root 2, and now I need to find z. So if I'm going to set up z, it's going to be similar to what I did in the middle. I am going to take my leg and square it, and I'm going to take the part of the hypotenuse times the whole hypotenuse. So my legs squared this time, I'm going to be using z squared. And then the part is x, and the whole thing is x plus 4. Well, we found out that x is 32, so I have z equals 32 times, and 32 plus 4 is 36. So I'm going to take 36 times 32, so I get z squared equals 1,152. Now I have to take the square root of both sides. So z is going to equal 2, and let's see, I think 64 goes in here, and it goes in there 18 times. Well, 18 also has some perfect squares in it, so I'm going to take 8 times root 9 root 2. So the square root of 9 is 3. So 8 times 3, I get 24 root 2. Alrighty, so we've got all of our values here. X is 32, Y is 8 root 2, and Z is 24 root 2. All right, let's try one more. So you guys copy this down, and then go ahead and give this a try, and then come back and see what you get here to try to find out what X is. All right, my instinct is what I want to do is take this, and then I want to take this times this. Okay, so I want to take x squared equals. But now I don't know what either part is right now. So what it makes me want to do personally is I want to find out what this piece is right here. I know it doesn't say to find y, but I am just going to call that y. So I'm going to find out what that y is by doing leg squared equals, and then I'm going to take that part times the whole hypotenuse. So my leg squared is going to be 16 squared, and the part is y, and the whole thing is 34. So now 16 squared is 256 equals 34y. So now I'm going to divide both sides by 34. And when I do that, I actually end up with a decimal. So I'm going to round this to the nearest tenth and get 7.5 equals y. All right, so now if I know that this y is 7.5, well, I can take 34 minus 7.5 and get this other side right here to be 26.5. Now I know these two blanks. So the first blank is 7.5 and the other side is 26.5. So I'm going to multiply those two things together and then take the square root. And so I get x to be about 14.1. All right, hope this helped and give you a little bit of samples, and good luck on your 9-3 homework.